Okay, today we're going to do a 20-minute workout, and it's going to be full body workout, so we're going to target all of the major muscles in the body. And we're going to start with a little, basically a joint warm-up, then we're going to move into my favorite kind of warm-up, which is adding a little bit of yoga. It's fantastic for opening up all the joints. And then we're going to do full body workout. Let's go. Start by just rolling out our wrists. Oops. I like to try and balance on one foot because you might as well work on your balance while you're warming up your ankle. Let's switch both directions. Do your best to do a good circle around the ankle. Let's take our hands to our shoulders, do a little circle around the shoulder joint. Both directions. And then a bigger circle. If it doesn't hurt, let's start slow. You want to avoid any areas that you're feeling any kind of clicking, clunking that hurts you. Let's go the other direction. Right away, we're starting to become aware of our core. You are going to start to do that gentle hugging in and keeping your abdominals just slightly energized so that you're supporting your back. Let's start to do a couple of squats. So for basic squats, we want to make sure we're just shoulder or hip width. We don't have to be wider than the shoulders unless you have some balance issues. We'll just start to squat and then do these little swings like a skier. Just starting to swing the arms up and down a few times. Now, who doesn't love squats? Well, probably a lot of people, but I'll tell you why they're so popular. Full body leg exercise. Not only are we warming up the big muscles in the lower body, we're also warming up the hips, the hip joint, the knees. We're working on encouraging better range of motion in the knees. And guess what else? The ankles. A lot of people don't think about the ankles, but of course we need mobility in our ankles to be able to walk and run, to be able to move over rough terrain without tripping, this sort of thing. So squats are great for the ankles. Stop that. Let's move over to our mat and we'll do a little warm up on the mat. So if you don't have a mat, it's okay. It can be on the floor. Let's start again with that squat. Deep squat in yoga with a chair. Let's do a couple. And then after this last squat, we're going to fold all the way forward. You want to keep your knees as bent as you need to. We're starting to warm up here. We're going to slide our hands up our shins until our knees are relatively straight. And then bend our knees until our head can release. Do a few of those. Stretching up across the legs. Sliding your hands up as high as you need to. Another time here, really working on getting the knees straight-ish. And then letting the knees bend. One more time, pull the shoulder blades together here, working on the back warm-up. And release. Come all the way down, step back on your right foot. If you need to grab your dumbbells or blocks, have them beside you, put them under your hands. We're just gonna do a lunge and then a pyramid-ish. So we're working to deeply bend through the front knee and then straighten the front knee as best you can. Not only are we straightening the front knee, we're also working to push the back heel down. Let's do a couple more. You can be thinking about core breathing. It's an inhale here, an exhale hugging and lifting through the belly and pelvic floor. Let's do one more time. Hugging and lifting. Bend through your front knee, step forward, and then step back on the other leg. Same thing, we're bending the knee on the inhale and stretching up on the exhale. Inhale, lifting your chest. Exhale, lifting your belly. Inhale, opening the chest. Exhale, pushing the back heel. So there's always lots of sensation happening when you're starting the movement. Keep going, please. Noticing where you're feeling this, hips, knees, ankles, back. Everything starts to kick in. Let's do one more. Bend through the front knee. We're stepping back in a plank. You can do a half plank on your knees or a full plank on your toes. I'm going to do knees. We're going to do a couple of little elbow bends. So I'm not going to call them a push-up because all I really want you to do is focus on elbows here. So wrapping the elbows back towards your hips, little 1-inch push-up. That's it, little 1-inch elbow bend. So don't want you to think about getting too close to the floor. We're really warming up our shoulders, our elbows, and our wrists here. Couple more, just little tiny bends, enough so that you can keep the elbows close to you when you're pushing back up without letting the elbows pop away from the torso or the ribs. One more time, we're going to lower this time all the way to the floor. Untuck your toes. Let's start with the back. Keeping your pubic bone rooted to the floor. Let's lift the chest. You want to tuck your chin down so your neck is long. You're looking at the floor. Hands are off. Let's do a little roll of the wrists. So we're already working our back just to lift the head and the chest off the floor. Now we're going to pulse and see if we can get it a little bit warmer. Going to try and lift the ribs off the floor. So just lifting. While you're doing this, be mindful that your toes are staying on the floor. And then release your hands back into that push-up position. Tuck your toes, wrap your elbows to protect your wrists. Push yourself up gently. Sit back like you're gonna do a child's pose, but instead we're picking our knees up. We're gonna come into down dog and just pedal out our heels, working on stretching the Achilles tendon, the calves and the hamstrings. Next time you're pushing your right heel down, hold it down. It doesn't have to come all the way to the floor. You wanna feel a nice stretch from the back of your heel, up your leg. Nice and easy. Switch sides, left heel pushing toward the floor or onto the floor. So again, this is that range of motion in the front of the ankle we're looking for. Sometimes that might be all you're feeling is the range of motion in the ankle. So that tells you something to work on. Let's pick both our heels up, bend our knees and move into this crouching dog. We're doing this to stretch out the shoulders a little bit more. Trying to push your chest all the way back onto your thighs, and at the same time your tailbone is coming up, almost like you're about to do a race. You're in the blocks. Let's look forward and just walk our feet all the way forward to the top of our mats. Halfway lift again, slide your hands up, pull your head back in line with your shoulders, and then bend your knees, release. Bend your knees a lot. We're gonna come out into that chair for our squat. So just where we started right here, take a breath. We're gonna stand up and we're gonna squeeze our glutes. All right, nice and warm, everyone. So first exercise group is going to be some lunges we're going to do with no weights. We're going to really just encourage the hips, the quads, and the hamstrings to really warm up. So let's just do a basic round the clock lunge, standing tall. Make sure you've cleared your space around you in all four directions. Going to step forward and push off. Step to the side and push off. Step to the back, keep your head up and push off. And then we're gonna switch. We're gonna step to the back with the other leg, push off, step to the other side. I call these round the clock, hitting all of the 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 9 o'clock, etc. So let's keep going one more round. Stepping, stepping, and then after we step back, we're switching legs, stepping back on the other leg, stepping laterally, stepping forward. Nice. Shall we do one more? Yeah, let's do one more. So thinking about pushing off the heel. Here, you're thinking about pushing the leg up, maybe getting a little more in your hip. Stepping back, working into the hamstrings, pushing off. Again, switching legs. Other side, pushing off. Stepping forward. Might be able to pick your toes up, see the sole of your foot. And that's it, we're done. Okay, first exercise. We're gonna do a rear lunge now, and we're gonna pick up some weights. So your choice, just a leg exercise, and then we're gonna be moving into a tricep exercise. So you can lift something heavy for the leg, put it down and pick up something light for tricep, that's okay. We're gonna start with just a basic rear lunge. So pick up something that's comfortably heavy, standing up tall. We're gonna step back. Switch, step back. So the body, the torso, the head, everything stays really tall. The only thing moving here is the lower body. We're just alternating with these lunges. Keeping your front knee tracking over your ankle. So if you don't step back far enough, you may find that your knee is coming too far forward. You might have a look down at it and see that your knee is staying not too far over your toes. 1 inch or so is okay, but nothing too much further than that. Stepping back is also really good for courage. It is hard to step back into the unknown. So one of the other benefits of weightlifting, especially for us older women, is we keep ourselves feeling confident, powerful. less fear in the trust that we have in our own bodies. Let's do one more. Nice. All right, let's let that go. So you can roll out your wrist. If you're lifting something fairly heavy, you know you're always going to feel it in your forearms. The forearms are the muscles that hold the grip. And so if you're gripping too hard, you may feel that in your forearm too much. So make sure you're only gripping enough to hold the weight, no more, no less. Let's do a little stretch for the wrist, fingertips down, palm facing away from you. Don't pull too hard. And then we'll do a little stretch for the forearm, fingertips pointing down. You're going to spin that eye of your elbow up. Little stretch. If you're really tight here, you will feel this right away in the forearm. And that's always something you need to work on, keeping that keeping that flexible, because any excess tension in the forearm can end up in your elbow. And of course, especially those of us that are over 50, our joints are more susceptible to inflammation because of hormones. So we want to really always be protecting our joints, in this case the elbow and the wrist. Okay, so now we're going to do a combination. So if you picked up something heavy there, you're going to pick up something lighter, because we will be doing a tricep kick over. Now if you have shoulder issues, all of these are in the video. You can see them each taught individually. If you haven't, of course, you should go back and have a look. If this is too much for your shoulders, because this is a large range of motion in the shoulder, you can choose to do the kick back, elbows pinned, okay? So let's pick up our weights. We're going to do split squat this time. We will not be moving. We're going to step back, have a good amount of distance between your feet. All right, bring the weights up to your shoulders. Tuck your tail straight down to the floor so you're not arching your back, and bring the weights into their start position. So you're going to try and keep the weights just over your shoulders. We're on the ball of the back foot. Yes, this encourages better balance. We're going to bend the knee and bend the elbows. That's the movement. We're doing 6 right here. 6, 5. Try and keep your arms shoulder width apart. 3, 4, 5. The knee is coming straight to the floor. 6, release, switch legs. We got 6 more to make it a set of 12 for the shoulders. On the ball of your back foot, let's come up. We're inhaling on the down, exhaling on the up. Inhaling, exhaling. Keep going. That's just going to be 3. You want the straight line from your head to your knee, dropping straight to the floor. This is 5. One more time, make 6. Hello, triceps. And release. Let's give ourselves a little rest here. Do a tricep stretch. Pulling the arm back while I look at what form of torture is next. Switch arms to triceps. Okay. So continuing to work upper and lower body together, we're going to be doing goddess. Goddess. Feet are wider than shoulders. In a position where your toes are out, please just do a double check where your feet are going to be. That when you squat down the lowest, your knees are not popping over your toes. If your knees are popping over your toes, your feet are too close together. So let's make it a little further and just practice our goddess squats, sliding the back all the way down, that invisible wall behind you. So this is not like the squat we were doing in the beginning where we're sitting back. This is a straight down squat, goblet squat, or in yoga we call it goddess. Let's stop here. We'll do a little core exercise here, elbows to knees. Again, you're still imagining that you're sliding on the wall, the back of your pelvis, your rib cage, the back of your head. Let's do one more. Hello, obliques, our waist muscles. Come back up and reach up. Okay. So we will be adding a shoulder press. You're probably going to use your lower weight than you did with your legs. So for me, I'm going to use a 10-pound. I've got a 10, a 12, and a 15 here. So I'm using the lower weight because this is a shoulder exercise, and shoulder is a relatively small muscle group. Getting your position. So we're going to do 6 squats first. So we're just going to put the weight on our shoulders, tuck our bellies in, tail down. The inhale is on the way down. Exhale, we're just going to do the squats. We've just added the weight. 2, we're doing 6, 3, 4, still sliding down that invisible wall, 5, 6, we're gonna stay right here. Tuck the belly, gonna do an inhale first, exhale, push, shoulder press, 1, exhale, 2, inhale, exhale, 3, it's important to exhale, 4, 5, keep your tailbone down, 6, now we're gonna do both, legs and arms, 1, for 6 of them, 2, 3, don't let the tailbone pop too far behind you. You should feel it maybe in your inner thighs, 4, 5, should be tired, 6, we're always working to come to that place of fatigue where you really don't want to do very many more. If you're working really with weights for a longer period of time, you don't want to do any more. The last set or the last rep is it. You're tired, you're done. That's how we're going to get stronger. Whew. Okay, back to the tricep. Now the choice I showed you in the beginning here was this tricep extension. Now if that hurt, you were coming and you were doing 6 here and then switching legs and doing 6 here. So please make your choice. Let's pick up our weight. Yeah, back into lunge. All right, hands on your shoulders. Let's do 6 here, tight belly. Inhale on the way down, exhale. 1, 2, 3, you're sliding that torso and that thigh. 4, straight down to the floor. 5, we're not moving forward. 6, hands on your shoulders. Switch, step back, ball of the foot. Inhale, exhale. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good job, you guys. You want to roll out the shoulders? Let's do a lift. Pull the shoulder blades together and drop. Do that again. Squeeze your shoulders up, pull them together and drop. Swing the arms just to release tension. We have one more set of, shoot, I screwed that up. That was supposed to be a split squat with a tricep. So now we did our shoulders. Here's how we're gonna fix that. We're gonna do the squat with the tricep. No big deal, body doesn't care, as long as we get it done. So we're gonna do that goblet squat, or goddess, and instead of doing the shoulder press, we're gonna do those triceps. So same thing here, feet wide, toes out, arms up. So tailbone down to protect the low back, abs on. Take an inhale, and exhale, inhale as you lower, exhale, push. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This time we're going to combine the two. Bending the knees, inhale, exhale, stand up, push. 1, 2. Keep the weight steady if you can. If that's too much, you can always use one weight. Hold it on its ends. 4, 5. Elbows in, speaking to myself. 6. Whew, that one was harder. Yeah, so that just goes to show, even someone like me who's been lifting, exercising, teaching exercise for 30 years, you can screw it up. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Go with the flow. Now we've done 2 sets of shoulders, 2 sets of triceps, and we are moving into, and of course we're doing the legs as we go, right? Squats, goblet squats. We're gonna move into some core. Actually, we're gonna do a row and a bicep first. Row is your heaviest weight. All right, we're gonna do it with 2 arms. So that means we really have to tighten up the belly. So let's just do it together with no weight. A small bend. If your back is strong, a big bend. If your back is weak, of course you can do this from lunge. It'll protect your back more. We're gonna do 6 rows. And then we're gonna stand up, pick the foot up, and do 6 bicep curls. So my back has been a little iffy recently, so I'm gonna do it from lunge. Now, if you wanna work on your back more, you're doing it from a squat. All right, either way, stepping back or both feet together. Bending over, 6 rows right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're gonna stand up. If you can, you're gonna pick the foot up. One leg bicep curls. We're doing hammer curls so the palms stay facing each other. 2, pull your core into this. 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, you know where we're going. We're gonna step back with the other leg or switch or go back to the 2 legs. 6 rows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Stand up. If you want to make it harder for core, take the foot off. 6 bicep curls, hammer style. Palms stay facing. 1, 2, tighten up your belly. 3, 4, 5, 6. And the weight's down. I love that combination because biceps and back work together. Many of us don't have a heavy enough weight to really challenge the back, so we tire out the biceps and then the back has to work harder. All right, little bicep stretch. I said 20 minutes. I'm not sure what time this is, but I feel like it's more than 20 minutes. We're gonna cool down. We've done the whole body now. So when I design an exercise program, working the leg muscles, the chest, the back, blah, blah, blah. I'm gonna cut this out. Haven't done chest, have we? This is more than a 20-minute workout. I need to be able to cut that out. Okay. Okay, we have one more muscle group to do. That is our chest. So we're gonna be coming down onto the floor, picking up the weights that you know that you can do with a chest press, and coming into a seated position. As always, we are going to be handling the weights safely, so put them on your hips as you lay down, use your core. Starting position, we're gonna do a basic chest press, pushing straight over your shoulders. Palms facing your knees. You're gonna keep your back down for this one. Take a big breath in as you lower and a breath out as you push. Let's do it. 12 of them. If you're lifting something light, move all the way up to 15. Hopefully you're tired by 15. If you're not tired by 15, you know what I'm gonna say. You need to pick up something heavier. Too often, us women in particular, are lifting lighter than we can, so we're not really getting as much benefit as we could be. If your purse is heavier than your dumbbell, you need to think about it. I think this is 9. Breathing in on the way down, exhale on the way out. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. This is 13 for me. And that's all I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put the weights on my hips, roll to one side, put them down safely. Let's come back onto our back. Bring your knees into your chest. Give yourself a little roll around. Do a basic full body stretch here, crossing the right ankle over the left for figure 4. You wanna clasp the back of your left thigh. Just take a few breaths. We're cooling down here. The heart rate is slowing down. Just drawing the leg nice and close to you. If you want to, you can grab the front of the shin if you're not feeling this stretch in your hip. Take about 2 more big breaths. And release. Switching now to the left side, crossing over, clasping the back of your right thigh or the front of your right shin. You want to make sure your back feels really neutral, your head is down on the floor, chin is in line. If your back is very tight, you can always put something under your head. It's better than having your top of your head up and your chin to the ceiling. We're always looking for ways to lengthen the back of our neck for our posture. So much of what we do now makes us into little turtles with our head popped way forward. So anytime you get to stretch your neck, take the opportunity. Let's release that. We'll roll over to one side and do a quad stretch, grabbing onto the top foot. And depending on your quads, how tight they are, You may have to really pull that knee down in line with the bottom thigh. If you're still not feeling it in the quad, you'll have to push your pubic bone forward. Doesn't really matter what you're doing here. You want to make sure you're feeling this in the front of your hip and down the front of the thigh. You don't have to pull your foot close to your bum. You can be pushing your foot away from you in your hand. And then you can roll over and do the other side. I'm just going to swing around. Coming into a nice basic quad stretch here. Pulling the knee down in line with your hip and maybe pushing your pubic bone forward. And releasing. Coming back onto your back. We're just going to swing ourselves up to do a nice little hamstring stretch. So you can use your loop or a strap if you want. Just do a little basic hamstring stretch. It's important that the leg is pretty much straight out in front of you. You can move the flesh from your butt, or you can sit up on something if you like. We're just going to do a nice easy hamstring stretch, reaching forward as you hinge from your hip, and then just let your hands go wherever they are. And then do what your back is craving for you to do, which is let it relax. And as your back relaxes, let your head relax. Let your neck release. Take a few big breaths here. The knee can be soft or it can be straighter. You want to feel some sensation, of course, at the back of the leg. Most likely you may be feeling some sensation at the back of the knee. We just want to give it enough time for the muscle to release. Gonna walk your hands back up your leg just to support your hard-working back, and then we'll switch sides. Again, you may want to sit forward because we want to start the hinge from the hips, not from the middle of the back, or you really have nowhere to go. So reaching as you hinge from the front of your hip crease, and then just release everything down towards your knee. Your head can get really heavy, your neck can relax. Think about a couple of big breaths, breathing into the back of your lungs, the back of your rib cage. And then once again, you want to kind of assist your back by walking your hands up your legs. Once you come all the way upright, you can put both your feet on the floor. Make sure your weights are not in your way. And we're just going to drop the knees from side to side, totally releasing the hips. Anytime we're doing these lunges and these squats and these goddess squats, all of that stuff is a lot of work in your hip stabilizers, which is fantastic work, but they can get tight. And then we're just going to cross our ankles. We'll do a nice little neck stretch here. So sitting up tall, dropping your right ear to your shoulder. If you want, you can go ahead and pull the collarbone down a bit. Just get a nice stretch in the neck. Roll your chin to the other side, ear to the other side. Same, nice stretch in the side of the neck. As always, you can move your chin around. And then draw your chin back to your chest, bring your head up. We'll do those big circles around the shoulder blades, up, back, and down. And we're done. Good job.